Move my mic somewhere over here. Maybe I need to move this over to this side. Sorry, I'm moving the camera around a little bit. Alright, perfect. Don't want to have my face be obscured by the mic. Got 3 minutes here.
Definitely thank Danny when, after everything, when you do everything.
Who?
Danny. Yeah.
I'm gonna start with
He works for Channel 13 in Tampa.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with this read right off of the open.
Oh yeah, you've always done that.
Yep. So and then the song.
And then start the show.
Then start the show.
Yeah. At some point after you go through all the.
We're going to talk about this first, and then I think it's proper to maybe just take a commercial break a little early. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
It's proper to do that, just so we get back.
Yeah, let people reflect.
After the commercial, we get to our actual.
Yeah. I don't think we need to talk about it. I just think, what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you want to briefly.
No, I'm not sure. I mean, I just think.
No?
I don't know. It's really up to you. If you want to talk about it, I'll talk about it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's just.
Oh, well, let's just do
It's kind of a somber thing.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
I think it's more like a reflection thing.
So what we'll do is we'll just do the read, and then the song, and then we will take the commercial break.
Yep.
Currently in low Earth orbit. I'm Jeremy Scott. A submarine wreck discovered off the coast of Japan last year is what remains.
You really think we should go? You really think we should go right into a commercial?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know how to do that.
No,
I don't know how to do this properly.
No, it's just you can talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's talk about it a little bit, and then we'll go into.
Yeah, you know what to say. You said it last year. You should have looked at what you said last year on the video because it was perfect. 2 years in a row was perfect. You did a really good job. You know what you're doing. You'll be all right. You're a person from the heart. You know what I mean? So
I'll start with you, and then.
No, you say something. It's your show, and you say something, and then ask me. Right?
All right.
You got a good heart. You're a good kid, so you say the right things.
Yeah.
Because it's you got feelings still, right? Yeah. Just say tomorrow's the anniversary of the station nightclub. Start with that after the song. You know what I mean? Tomorrow mark the 20th anniversary of the.
Yes.
100 people died.
And do not express the views of WBDF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio.
We got I open
and their guests.
270. Come on. All right, got that.
Hey, Joey, what's happening? I mean, what's happening in Middleboro and surrounding towns? It's time for the Middleboro Week in Review with your host, Joey Driscoll. Stay tuned for news.
Put your mic up at the end of the song. Because this is just me doing. This is just me doing this.
Right, yeah,
Here we go. 20 years ago, in a little club where literally everyone knew your name, heaven gained 100 angels. The station nightclub was the spot, and it was the show of a lifetime to many whom were there. You could hear the excitement in the voices of the crowd as Great White began to play, but how quickly those yells of joy turned to screams of pain. Brothers and sisters, sons and daughters, mothers, fathers gone in a matter of minutes. When pyrotechnics were set off during the opening number, the sparks unexpectedly ignited foam used for soundproofing the ceiling of the club. Those flames spread quickly, engulfing the club and claiming the lives of many of those trying to escape. Between the mix of toxic smoke, the mass rush for the main exit, and the heat from the flames, 100 people died and 230 were hurt. 132 patients escaped physically unharmed, but emotionally crippled for the rest of their lives. This fire was the fourth deadliest fire in a nightclub in United States history. New codes have since been put up in place to try to prevent a terrible accident like this from happening again. Sprinkler system requirements have tightened, and additional exit requirements for clubs also have been changed since this tragedy. We will never know the true magnitude of the loss of those lives. Many who perished could have gone on to do significant things or make great changes in the world. That we will never be known. But what we do know is that tonight we hug our loved ones a little longer. We stop and smell the roses instead of just passing them by. We cherish the lives we have in memory of the lives we lost.
Was grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace in my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace hath brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. We've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun.
Amazing Grace on Middleboro in review this morning. Tomorrow is the 20th anniversary of the station nightclub fire. Good morning, I'm Joey Driscoll. I'm joined by Don. Good morning, Don.
Good morning, Joey.
Just want to say a couple of words about the station nightclub. The world did lose 100 great souls and great angels that day, that evening, 20 years ago. Yet tomorrow, it was, like I said in the read, the fourth deadliest fire in a nightclub in U.S. history. A very sad and tragic night for many, many families, and also the families as well that were involved that didn't lose a loved one, were also very deeply affected as well. Everyone who was involved during that night was deeply affected, from the patrons at the nightclub to Great White. Everyone was deeply affected by this. Don, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, 20th anniversary marks a milestone that's been so long ago, but it's really reflected in our hearts and souls as far as memory. I think a lot of people out maybe listening and out there in this area, all over the place, knew somebody that passed, and I did know somebody. I knew somebody from Quincy, so I mean that was my connection, and a lot of people might have known somebody and lost somebody. And when I've been to the Station Nightclub Memorial on the site in West Warwick, Rhode Island, and they did a beautiful job on the memorial site.
Yes, they did.
And they have pretty much pictures of almost everybody, all 100 souls. And what I found going to the park, and it's a relatively new memorial park, that the granite stones are like bleeding. I'm not sure if it's something. I'm not sure what it's like. Staining that's bleeding on the plaques, not on the memorials itself, not on the. They look like headstones, but they look like little records. That's if you've ever been there. If you haven't been there, please go and take a walk around and check it out. And each of the not a record, like little speakers, and it has the person's name, date, maybe a picture of a portrait of them. I'd say about 95% have pictures and some don't, but it's all 100 of people who passed that terrible night. And it's just, you look at the stones and it's bleeding. It's like the park is crying. It's like, it's just, I don't know. It's, you have to go there and check it out. We've been there once, right, Joey?
Yes.
I've been there a few times before.
Yeah.
And it's a sad occasion, but it's reflection too of. I mean, they really did a beautiful job putting that memorial site back, together.
They did.
And so, yeah, it's hard. The emotions run deep when you talk about something like this, and you can't be like talking fast and as a matter of fact, because your emotions you kind of take over on that, and you just need to just take a pause a little bit and just think about those 100 souls who passed, and more than the people who passed away, it's the people who are there, the survivors.
Yeah.
You think of the family members, the mothers and fathers who lost, brothers, sisters, daughters, wives, husbands, who, their loved one didn't make it home that night. They were just going to a show, and then they got that awful news. And I couldn't imagine, getting that call. I could not imagine, especially, not knowing too, because it was chaos, absolute chaos.
And again, tomorrow is the 20th anniversary of the Station nightclub fire. A fire, since it happened, has been talked about a lot in the news as well. And will continue to be talked about in the news as well for years to come. It
might be a rough day for a lot of people, because tomorrow all the media outlets are going to be pushing it.
Yeah.
And so you may not be able to escape it. If sometimes people can't listen to that, they'll just tune out. But it's going to be in the news, it's going to be on the radio, you're going to hear it all day tomorrow.
And like I did say earlier, everyone involved during that night deeply affected during that night. From the patrons there who lost their lives to the band Great White and everyone else involved in that.
A lot of people don't, I think, I'm not sure if people know, but the band members didn't make it out. Ty Longley didn't make it out. So, and there was a prominent DJ for HJY, Michael Gonzalez, who was called the Dr. Metal. He was on for years, and he didn't make it out. And I'm sure there was so many other people too, but it affected so many people. And it's a hauled site. But if you ever have a chance to go there, go. And
yes.
Just take the walk around, read the names. There's a plaque, sort of like a plaque. It's engraved in stone, and it shows the timeline of everything happening from the first time they went on stage, and it's all written in stone of everything that spied on that, translated on that, whatever happened, and and then they have the markers with the people who passed away, but it's really emotional for me to talk about this. It's hard, it's just not like chip our head at all. So, but it's something that people should really think about, and you don't know. We gotta live every day to the fullest, because you don't know when something's gonna happen. And for those 100 souls who passed away that night, 20 years ago tomorrow, it was the ultimate nightmare.
All right, it is 7:20 a.m. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have a lot to talk about locally. And we'll do a music recommendation segment as well today. We're going to be doing a musical recommendation segment on the Zombies, actually. The Zombies have come out with a new album, so we're going to talk about that as well. So we have all that coming up just after this commercial break.
I think I was rambling on too much.
No, it's fine.
You can't talk like Guy Smiley, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard to find the words to describe that kind of event.
You can't script something like this.
Yeah.
You just can't script it. I mean, anybody who scripts it, it's coming out of it.
Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, Nathan. You're still on the Facebook, Nathan. I did see your message from yesterday. I'll be sending you a message later on this morning after I get off the air. Nathan, okay.
Continue to serve in our armed forces, with several serving in combat areas now.
All right.
Sponsor and participate in many motorcycle-related charity events each year, and as a non-profit organization, donate to various veteran care facilities and veteran charities. To learn more about the Combat Veteran Motorcycle Association and how you can join or support, please visit cvma2h2.org.
Do the weather, and then. Rotary Club auction? Want to talk about the Rotary Club auction? It's coming up March.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff.
You talked about it on Thursday, yeah.
I did, but I can get your thoughts on it.
Well, I'm gonna say the same thing I said the last 4 times.
Did we talk about that before on a Sunday?
Well, I talked about how when you did it, you could have worked any entity. You started that when you were in high school, and you.
Oh yeah. We talked about this before, but well, I mean, the auction's coming up.
Yeah, I don't know enough about the auction itself.
I can talk. I can read the article I read the last time.
All right.
Let me get that article up. Get that
Yeah,
stuff.
Tom wants to come back on. You guys we need to take a ride down and talk to him. You guys can discuss something other. So I dropped by there. Guess what Tom was watching?
What?
Golf.
Maybe we can talk about the Masters.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I think Tiger Woods will probably be a part of the Masters this year.
Really?
Yeah, he was a part of a tournament this past week. Genesis tournament.
Okay.
He did okay.
Right. Make
so
sure
he might be a part of the Masters.
Make sure you thank Danny when you get back on the air for last week.
Yeah.
and plug his channel.
Yes.
On the internet at hometowntalkradio.com.
All right.
I mean, if you should say if you missed the interview, you can go back and check out my YouTube page.
Yep.
Last week.
All right. 3. Oh, wait, hang on. You're up there. Okay. 3, 2, and 1. And we are back. So I turn the music down here. We're back here on Middleboro in Review. Of course, we're on WVBF 1530 AM and 99.7 FM. I forgot to say that at the end of the last segment. But do the weather in just a second. But I want to take a quick moment to thank Danny Hardman for last week. Danny Hardman is the owner, the main guy, the main guy.
The producer. He's the producer.
The owner, the main guy.
He's the producer guy.
The owner, the main guy, the producer of
the narrator.
The narrator.
The man.
Yeah.
The delicious voice.
of Distant Signal. The YouTube channel, Distant Signal. You can check that channel out by going to YouTube and typing in Distant Signal, and you'll find his videos.
Oh, Real Fan Danny.
Yep.
It pops up. He talked last week about a new video, Tampa Hotspots.
Yes,
came out. I was
I saw that
I was
too.
like, yay, Thursday. I noticed it when I got home from work and I watched
saw that
it.
Too.
So, yeah.
So he has a lot of great and interesting videos.
And he said he's probably got to have another one. Probably he was talking about the second one too. If anybody listened to last week's interview, we had him on the whole hour, which is gracious enough to give us the time. The guy's really busy guy. So that's good. Thank you, Danny, and look forward to your next video. And yeah, it's distantsignal.com. Or if you missed last week's video and you're interested in rail fanning or maybe hearing what Danny has to say, you can go back to Joey's YouTube page.
Yes, Middleboro Review on YouTube. You can check it out. It is the February the 12th edition, last week's edition of Middleboro in Review. So
yes.
you can check that
this
out
was
there.
It actually was the third Super Bowl that he called in. So we got like a tradition going on with Danny. Be calling on the Super Bowls. And the first Super Bowl, he had something to report because his team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, was in the Super Bowl and they won. Yeah.
And they won that year.
They won that year. It was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Last week. So that's always a lot of fun. And he calls in and we talk about it. But great narration. I've been following Danny for close to 5 years now. And I think I watch all his videos. I always scroll through YouTube to see if I find one that I never saw. And I always go back to my favorites too, about Folkestone, Georgia. And Joey and I went to Folkestone, Georgia. The town is a real fan extraordinaire town.
It's a great town.
The town's economy is based on people coming up and watching trains because these trains go right through this park. Okay, it's a beautiful, beautiful park. It's an old depot situation, and they call it the Folkestone Funnel because the majority of the CSX trains, all the Amtrak trains going down to Florida, go through there. And if you like anything about rails fanning or trains in general or just general knowledge, Danny's totally professional. Producer, I believe he's a producer. He works as a producer somewhere. So it's just totally professional. It's, finished product is awesome. He spends a lot of time on these videos, and we really appreciate when he calls and spends time with us. Also,
I want to really quick as well go and mention this as well. Tomorrow, I will be doing the morning wake-up news, filling in for Chris Keach tomorrow. Tomorrow is President's Day. Mm-hmm. I almost forgot. It's President's Day tomorrow. So I will be filling in for Chris Keach, doing the morning wake-up news.
I got a trivia question for you, and I hope you get it, okay? Because Tony Lopes had this trivia question, I think, I don't know, when he was on the air before he left. I think it was back in November. Name the only president that did two 2 terms that weren't consecutive. And there's only one president ever done that in history.
Garfield.
No.
I don't know then.
Huh?
I don't know then.
It was Grover Cleveland.
Oh.
He was the 22nd president and the 24th president in between Benjamin Harrison.
I have to
brush up on your presidents.
brush up on my presidents a little bit. I know quite a bit, but sometimes
not
I
many
forget.
people know. I mean, especially that era.
Sometimes I forget. I mean, I knew that, but sometimes I forget.
Right.
Sometimes I forget. I did know that.
Okay.
But sometimes I forget it. You know?
Now we'll have fun with the President's Day thing. Now name all the presidents that didn't finish their term. Okay.
No.
William Henry Henderson died in office.
Yep.
After 30 days. Zachary Taylor died in office.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln was assassinated.
Yes.
Okay. James Garfield.
Yes.
Was assassinated.
Mm-hmm.
Not Harrison. Who was? I'm thinking here. Oh boy! Now I'm looking like the fool because I'm thinking about. I'm thinking of what's his name? There was another one who was assassinated. He was Teddy Roosevelt was his vice president, and I'm kind of.
Yeah.
Help me out, Scott. Here, come on. All right, I'm gonna move on. I think Warren Harding didn't finish his term.
Yeah.
Franklin Roosevelt didn't finish his 4th term. He died in office. JFK was assassinated, and then Nixon resigned. So now I'm thinking about that one 1900.
Yeah.
I forgot. I'm having blank on this president's name. I wish Scott would help me. Scott, help. Okay.
McKinley.
McKinley. Did he say McKinley?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Stay tuned for more presidential.
Thank you, Scott.
Presidential fun facts tomorrow. There will be 2 hours of Hometown Talk Radio with Jim DuPont. I am absolutely certain he will have a lot more presidents fun facts as well.
I bet he will. He knows so much about everything. You know, he always says, "Know your history." You know,
Yes.
Know your history. Read your history.
Yes.
You have to know your history because we don't want to repeat it.
Very important to definitely know your history for sure.
Right.
All right.
So
Jim, if you're listening, call in. We could talk President's Day fun facts.
I'll throw some more fun facts at you before the show's out.
Okay.
Weather. Right?
Weather, yes. We're going to talk about the weather. 26 degrees in Taunton outside of our Taunton Federal Credit Union studios at 14 Church Green. 26 degrees, sunny skies, and it actually is sunny out. It's not dark. It's actually light out, so that's great. 49 degrees today, cloudy skies. A high of 58 tomorrow and cloudy skies once again. Tuesday, 46 degrees for the high. And the sun returns on Wednesday, a high of 49. Going to be cold on Friday night, going into Saturday morning. It's going to be pretty cold. 12 degrees for the low on Friday night. In Middleboro, it's 28 degrees. A high of 49 today and cloudy skies. Tomorrow, 57 degrees and sunny skies in Middleboro. In Driscoll, Texas, 46 degrees. Sunny skies. A high of 80 today in Driscoll, Texas. I gotta make sure I say that. 87.
No, you're doing a good job of doing that.
I'm gonna make sure I say it though, because these temperatures
aren't reflecting the temperatures
are
here.
not reflecting the temperatures here at all. I mean, it got kind of close last week.
Yeah.
When it was 66 degrees.
Would it be something if you reported, okay, that all 4 towns
were the same temperature?
Were the same temperature. Wouldn't that be something?
I don't know if that will ever happen, but it might.
You never know.
You never know.
Like a
It might.
66 degrees or something like that.
It might.
You know? You never know.
It might happen. Yeah. 87 degrees tomorrow in Driscoll, Texas. A high of 87 on Tuesday in Driscoll, Texas, and a high of 93 on Wednesday for Driscoll, Texas. So temperatures are climbing in Texas.
In Driscoll, Texas.
In Driscoll, Texas, yes. Well, in Texas in general, probably.
That's good. That's good to know, Joey Driscoll.
In general, probably a lot of places in Texas probably have the same temperatures right now.
Yeah, probably.
As well.
Yeah.
Driscoll, North Dakota, completely opposite. 17 degrees, a high of 25 today in Driscoll, North Dakota. 27 tomorrow, a low tomorrow night in Driscoll, North Dakota of -1. Lows this week for Driscoll, North Dakota, -12. A high of -6 on Wednesday and a low of -14. A low of -22 on Thursday. 1 degree on Friday. So we're very cold. Still winter in North Dakota. The winters in North Dakota can be pretty brutal.
On February 4th, when we had that cold snap, I think I saw in the news that Mount Washington was the coldest place on the planet. With 109.
Yes, it was.
109 below zero.
Yes, it was.
Wind chill.
It
had
had
42
something
below
like
regular,
that. Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, it's crazy that the state next to us, the state that borders our state that we live in.
Yep.
We can go to a spot in that state on that particular day, and we probably would die if we wouldn't make it. If we didn't have like astronaut suits on or something. Would die like within 5 minutes from exposure, and it's so funny because White Mountains, the summit of White Mountains, probably not even 200 miles from here. It's probably 150 miles, 140 miles, or something like that. It's not that far.
Yeah.
So it just kind of blew my mind a little bit that Mount Washington was colder than the craziest place in the Gulag, Siberia.
All right. So.
And last time I hiked it in 2016, and it wasn't Mount Washington I hiked. I hiked Mount Jefferson, and on the summit of Mount Jefferson, you got the best view of Mount Washington. Looking, I think you were looking. Let's see, you're looking east, and you could see the Summit House. You could see the Cog Railroad, and you could see the road. I think was on the other side. Pretty sure you could see the Cog on that side. The road, you could see the road like wind up to the top part. But I did it in September, and the weather was, I was in short sleeve shirt that day. I mean, I had a jacket with me, but I didn't need it. And I couldn't believe how nice it was. But that mountain, it's just funny how it could just turn on you on a dime. Meaning, it's just I could see all the not the towers, but the windmills up in Mexico, Maine. And I looked at about maybe 30 of them. The visibility was unbelievable from Mount Jefferson. Now that's the second highest in New Hampshire. I think it's 1,100 and change shy of on elevation. Shy of what Mount Washington is. I think Washington is 63 and change or something. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure you'll let me know after the break the elevation of Mount Washington. But
yeah, all right.
You can really, it's just unbelievable. It's the coldest place on earth on February 4th. That's just mind-boggling. I think that's my tidbit there.
All right, Rotary Club, Middleboro Rotary Club members are working hard on final plans for the annual cable television charity auction, which will take place Sunday, March the 19th. This is their annual auction that they do every single year. It used to take place at the high school, the old Middleboro High School, before it was moved to the new studios of MacCam in downtown Middleboro. The Rotary Club President Albert Mui and auction chairperson Robert Saget are bringing a new level of technology to the auction in hope of reaching a larger bidding audience. The annual auction has become showcases for civic-minded local businesses, a lot of great businesses that take part in the auction every single year. Professional and financial institutions as well that take place for the auction as well. They're part of the auction too. That want to show their support for the Rotary Club and the work it does. The auction, which is broadcast live from the studio of MacCam, again, every single year. Matt Camp does a fantastic job of bringing the auction to the viewers at home as well. The Middleboro Community Cable Access Media, which has been the club's major fundraiser since 1989. Proceeds from this auction help the Middleboro Rotary support its educational and charitable programs, which include local college scholarships and school tutor programs as well, along with many community service projects. Rotary International funds disaster relief, a program to end polio worldwide, and efforts to provide clean drinking water in developed nations. So Rotary International, they do a lot of great things as well. I think a lot of towns in Massachusetts, they have a local Rotary Club as well. Middleboro does. I'm sure there are other towns surrounding us that have local Rotary clubs as well. And it's very important. The Rotary clubs here in Massachusetts and around the world, Rotary International, very important club. The auction broadcast can be viewed live on cable access, on the local access cable channels in Middleboro and Lakeville, on both the Verizon and Comcast networks. The event can be viewed Sunday, March 19th from 4 to 7 p.m. For online bidding, you can go to middleboroughRotary.com. Online bidding, which will start March 6th and continue up until the live broadcast, where they'll be closed on an hourly basis. And winners will be notified. To confirm high bidders, items can be picked up that day at the Matt Cam Studio at 1 South Main Street in downtown Middleboro. You can visit the club's website, middleboroughRotary.com, for more information. And I'm going to try to get the channels, the actual channels of the Verizon and Comcast for everyone. While I do that, Don, what are your thoughts
on the Middleboro auction?
On the Middleboro
Rotary auction?
Yes.
I think it's a great service. They've been doing it. It's a tradition. I know you've worked it a few times for both flags, MadCam and Middleboro and the school. What's that? MET.
Yes.
Yeah. So you did that in high school, actually. Was it your first year? You did it for Mr. Pelletier. You did sound. You're the sound guy. Hey, sound guy.
I am. I was, yes.
Sound guy. And you did some camera work there, too. So when I think of that, I think about the work you've done there, the volunteer work you've done. So, I mean, it takes a lot of, effort for people to volunteer and help out. And that's something you participated in. And even today, you're mentioning it on the radio, and you're plugging it. So, I mean, you're doing your part to help out the community as far as your radio show and letting everyone know about the Rotary Club there, about the auction.
Okay.
It's always in March, and it's used to be at the high school, right? The old high school, but
Yes.
now it's at the Middleboro MatCam Studios. Which, if you haven't seen the MatCam Studios, the brand new MatCam Studios, oh my God. They've done such an awesome job on it. I know Karen had a lot to do with the design and the whole committee, the whole cable committee. Is it? They have a cable committee connected.
Yes.
Everybody who worked there on it did such a wonderful job. It's just almost a state-of-the-art studio. I mean, CBS, NBC, Fox, any of those channels could set up shop there, and it would just be just as good. So, and that's a beautiful spot, right in downtown. I like how they have everything set up with the TV. It's just cool just to walk by it. It's a real asset to the town, and
yes, it is.
it's a really, really beautiful spot. And you go inside, and it's the old bank building, and it's just, they did a wonderful job when they put all that together. They really, Karen had a lot to do with, like I said, the design and setting it all up, and that was her baby, and she's been with Matt Camp forever, and it's just. I just can't say enough good things about how everything worked out for Matt Cam's studios. And they're doing so much more now at Madcam Studios. And they're using the studio now that the pandemic's over and everything's starting to get back to normal. So that's really good. On another note, can I mention something on another note here, sir?
So I want to just mention real quick.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yep.
The stations. So I didn't find the exact. I didn't find where it said the exact stations, but from my personal thing here that I can't remember what the stations are. Verizon is 34 and 35.
Wow.
Comcast is 9 and 95.
For Middleboro.
For Middleboro.
Yeah.
I might be missing one in there.
Yeah.
But I believe that is the stations. I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah.
But I believe that's what it is. Because I definitely know what it is for Verizon.
Right.
Because my family has Verizon. I'm not 100% sure what it is for Comcast. But anyway, yes, Don.
Yeah, no, also too, when there isn't broadcasting going on, this radio station is broadcast over some of the channels, right?
Well, I don't know. I heard it once.
Okay, yeah.
But anyway, Don, what were you gonna say?
Last Saturday, I went to the Middleboro Food Pantry, and I met everyone down there, Val and Taryn. I saw Chuck Hart, David Cunningham, who called before, and I got the tour. And what an operation they have there at the Middleboro Rotary. I mean, at the Middleboro Food Pantry. It's in the basement of the hall there on Oak Street. And just the way they have it set up, it's almost like a military operation. It's just unbelievable what they have there. And I got some paperwork. And then Chuck's here in 2 weeks, right? Again? So when he returns, I'm going to present him my paperwork for volunteer status. I'm going to tell him to bring some for you. Yeah. Some paperwork.
That's good.
I'll probably hand it to him.
Absolutely.
Live on the air.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to do our Today in Histories. Because I want to spend a few minutes talking about that. And then we'll do our musical recommendation to end the show today. All right, so let's do that. Let's take a commercial break. You're listening to Middleboro Review on WVBF 1530 AM and 99.7 FM. We will be right back. I don't think he was supposed to mention anything about that.
Why?
I don't know if Mark knows.
No.
I don't want to get in trouble.
Well, it's nothing to do with you.
No, it's nothing to do with me, but
it's been in place.
I know it's been in place. I just don't know if Mark knows.
Yeah, I think you might have mentioned it though.
Have I?
Yeah.
Well, okay, I was careful there to say anything because I don't know if Mark knows.
You kind of backed out a little bit and kind of got caught in a lie.
I heard it once. I just said I heard it once. I don't want to. Yeah, well, I don't want.
Facebook's still on, so you
whatever. I don't want to say anything. I don't know if Mark knows. I don't want to say anything live on the air.
All right, whatever.
Because I don't know if Mark knows. Anyway.
I'm sure he does.
He probably does. I want to make
most of the broadcasting isn't because they're doing their own thing.
No, yeah,
I mean, so it's mostly the talk on information thing.
Yeah.
Unless they don't air something, then they might be getting this show. You know. See, I'd like if they get that show because Grandpa can watch it every week, listen to it every week.
Mm-hmm. ma2-2.org.
Come on, here we go.
This is Martha Cooper.
But yeah, I just want to be careful
Well, you should just let them know then.
what I want to say.
You should let's him talk to him. Just
All right.
Oh.
It's fascinating, fast-paced, and fun as we explore
I'm sure Chris knows.
aspects of the
Yeah,
Medicare base.
Tony knows. I mean, it's
Yeah. I just don't
been
know
in
if
place
Mark.
before you were here.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
On
Yes.
AM 1530 and 99.7 FM, WVBF, your hometown radio station.
Attention high school sports fans. Are you an armchair official?
Do they?
No, the
Okay,
parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just
I
how
didn't
bad
play. I didn't play
they
this.
are.
Okay.
If you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Massachusetts needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Okay, I don't know if I want to go
Of Sacred Heart Church in Middleboro.
into detail on one of these three histories.
What is it?
The Pedro Lascarene one, where he became president for 45 minutes, because that involves a coup that was pretty bloody and people died. And I don't want the show to once again become sad again.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So,
No, just,
I will go into detail a little bit on the Aaron Burr one, though.
what the?
He was on this day he was arrested for treason.
Yeah, that's all right. But I mean, yeah, no, you're right. You don't want to keep it.
Yeah, I don't want to bring something up.
That's why we didn't talk about the train derailment, because it's just, you know.
Yeah, well, I don't know too much. I don't know enough about it to talk about it.
Right.
An extended period of time. I just don't know enough.
Yeah, right.
I know it was bad.
Yeah.
I know it was really bad, actually.
Yeah, no.
But I just don't know enough to talk about it.
All right, well, I get you.
Okay.
No, you got to keep it happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to keep it, happy here. But I will talk about Aaron Burr being arrested for treason, because that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, he was vice president, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. He was arrested by, I think, Thomas Jefferson arrested him, actually. Under his, administration. 3, 2, 1, and 0. All right, we're back. As I turn the music down here. There we go. All right, well, let's do our Today in Histories real quick so we can end the show with a musical recommendation. Okay, so our Today in Histories. The first one we have is 1807. Former Vice President of the United States, Aaron Burr, is arrested for treason in Wakefield, Alabama, and is confined to Fort Stoddard. And a little bit more about that, as I kind of look here. Don, what do you? First of all, I try to look for a little bit more information here. What are your thoughts on Aaron Burr?
That milk commercial. There was a commercial, right?
Yes.
I'm not getting late on this, but there was a commercial. It was a milk commercial, and the guy was waiting for this call from a radio station. He called a radio station, and they said, it was a trivia question. He's got to win like $1,000, and then he was eating something, and he was trying to say with potato chips in his mouth, and it was, "You got milk?" It was just funny. I'm not sure if anyone saw that. It was clever. All the got milk commercials were like really funny when they were doing those in the 2000s and stuff.
So,
did he have a duel with somebody?
Yes, he did. Alexander Hamilton. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, he had a duel with Alexander Hamilton, and I believe Alexander Hamilton was killed in that duel. Okay. So on January 10th, Thomas Jefferson put a warrant out.
1807.
Yeah.
Okay.
For Aaron Burr. Put federal agents on Aaron Burr's trail. Burr twice turned himself into federal authorities, and both times judges found his actions legal and released him. Jefferson's warrant, however, followed Burr, who fled toward Spanish Florida. He was intercepted at Wakefield in Mississippi Territory, now the state of Alabama, on February the 19th, 1807, and was confined to Fort Stoddard after being arrested on charges of treason. He was brought to trial on a charge of treason before the United States Circuit Court at Richmond, Virginia. His defense lawyers included Edmund Randolph, John Wickham, and Luther Martin and Benjamin Botts. Burr had been arraigned 4 times for treason before a grand jury indicted him. The only physical evidence presented to a grand jury was Wilkerson's so-called letter to Burr, from Burr, which proposed the idea of stealing land in the Louisiana Purchase. So, just a little bit about that. But that was something that was very big during that time, the Aaron Burr trial. 1913, Pedro Lascarain becomes president of Mexico for exactly 3/4 of a length of Middleboro in review, 45 minutes, which is the shortest term to date of any person as president of any country, Don. 45 minutes.
What he did in that 45 minutes? What accomplishes he's done? What bills he signed?
Well,
I mean, not much.
I'll let the audience look up Pedro Lascarain.
It's funny, we're talking about the presidents, and William Harry Henderson passed away after 30 days, and he was sick most of it.
Yes.
But I wonder if he did anything. I'll be surprised to see if he did any legislation. He signed anything. Was any executive orders done when he was sick? Was anything? Was any work done under his leadership?
I mean,
I'm just curious. As president for the 30 days.
Yeah.
Because March 4th was inauguration day back then.
Or did he have someone do it for him?
Well, it's still under his flag, under his umbrella.
Yes, but I know presidents in the past have done that.
I mean, you look at all the president's books and 1,000-page, and then you got his book, which is probably 20 pages.
Probably not even that.
Yeah, but I wonder if he did anything at all. I'm sure he did something.
All right. Let's get through these birthdays.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of birthdays.
We got a lot of birthdays today. First one, 1940, Smokey Robinson, American singer, songwriter, and producer. 1948, the great Tony Iomi from the band Black Sabbath. His solo career, a lot of great things he has done in his career. 1954, Francis Buchholz, German bass player for the band Scorpions. 1955, Jeff Daniels from great movies like Dumb and Dumber, Independence Day. I believe he was he in that?
No, I don't think
Was he in the second one?
No, that was...
I thought he was.
Who was that? No,
thought he was
the guy who looks like Jeff Daniels. No.
Okay, I thought he was in the second one. I was pretty sure that he wasn't in the first one.
Bill Pullman.
Okay.
That's who was in those movies.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
Yep.
All right. So he wasn't in that, but he's been in a lot of great films.
He's been in some good creepy films too. I can't recall them, but he was in some horror and some crazy movies.
All right. 1963, Seal, English singer-songwriter. Kiss from a Rose. A lot of great songs.
That's a great song. Nice song.
1964, Doug Aldrich was in the band Dead Daisies, or still is in the band Dead Daisies. I don't know what they're doing right now.
Yeah. Snake.
Their bass guitarist and lead singer is kind of off on his own right now doing his solo stuff. Glenn Hughes is kind of off doing his solo stuff right now, he will be in May, I believe. It's when that begins.
The Deep Purple Mark III stuff.
Yeah.
But, Doug Aldrich, Dio Band, Whitesnake.
Yep.
And did Daisies, and it's funny how he's a great guitarist too, and he's got the same birthday as Iomi. That's kind of ironic.
And born on this day in 1971, Jeff Kinney, American author and illustrator, the author of the really fun and great Diary of a Wimpy Kid series. I own most of those books, and they are fun reads. For sure. I think he's a great author. All right, passings on this day. 1980, Bon Scott passed away on this day, the former singer of AC/DC. And in 2003, Johnny Paycheck, American singer, songwriter, and guitarist. Don, Your thoughts on Bon Scott and Johnny Paycheck?
Bon Scott is unbelievable lead singer. He's my favorite AC/DC singer. He died way too young. And Johnny Paycheck, Take This Job and Shove It. Everyone knows that song.
Yes, yeah.
And I think he did some jail time too. I think I'm not too sure what he did, but I've heard he did some jail time. Just a little birdie told me that years ago. But
yeah,
I mean,
I have no idea. I mean, I'm sure you probably get the information.
Yeah.
If you looked it up.
I don't know. I wonder how many people said that after that song came out to their boss. Take this job and shove it, you know? because of Johnny Paycheck, you know, just another way to get quitting.
So
we got a music. We
music unfortunately, Don,
we can't do it.
It's 8:00.
Oh well, you got a minute to tell them that the Zombies have a new.
Yes.
Song
Okay.
out.
So
all right, tell them that.
Next week we're gonna do our musical recommendation. It's the Zombies, and the Zombies are one of several bands, you know, from the '60s that are. There's not many, but there's still quite a bit. You know, the Rolling Stones, the Zombies, that are still around. They're still making music, and they are coming out with a new album.
Right, Ron Argent.
The 31st of March. Ron Argent is their keyboardist.
And this song, what's the name of this? Give the name of the song so they can all look it up on YouTube and play it.
Hold on
boy,
1 second.
You forgot. Oh,
yes,
we listened to it like 4 times yesterday.
1 second.
That's too new.
1 second.
Right. But anybody who knows Ron Argent, Hold Your Head Up, that came out as a solo, and everyone knows that song, and his distinct keyboard style playing with the Zombies, with the solo stuff, and even this new song.
Dropped, Reeling, and Stupid is the name of the song.
Great song. Check
it is.
Out.
It's very, very good. Keyboards are amazing. Ron Argent is fantastic, and he still sounds fantastic.
Oh, the whole band sounds great.
Yes.
And then they're probably in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
They probably called up their friends and say, "Yeah, you know, I'm sick of playing. I'm sick of doing nothing. Let's get the band back together and get back in the studio and play."
Yeah, their last album, I believe, was 2015. I think.
Right, but it just goes to show that these bands don't have to tour anymore, but they can get in the studio and they can make new music.
All right. Want to thank everyone for listening to today's program. Again, tomorrow, join me for the Morning Wake Up News. I'm filling in for Chris Keach. Until then.
At 7 a.m.
Yes, at 7 a.m. tomorrow, 7 a.m. to 9. Until then, we'll be back with another edition of Middleboro in Review on the 26th of February, 2023. Coming up is Bread of Life with Pastor Ortez Bancross. Bye-bye, everybody.
Great show. I gotta go.
Yeah, okay.
I'll be back here by 11:30.
Okay.
All right.
Fine with me.
14 Church Green. We are AM 1530. WVBF, Middleboro,
Fine with me, my friend.
259 DD.
Oh, yeah, I got text from Chuck. Thanks for the publicity. It's always great listening to you and Joey. The Weather Night Club 2015 is very moving. Looking forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Have a blessed day.
Goodbye, everybody.